my Play-Doh eye. So first we have the cornea here in orange, which covers the front portion of the eye, and its purpose is to refract or bend light. And then we have the pupil here in the dark green, and it's the adjustable opening in the center of the eye where the light enters. And next we have the iris in blue, which is a ring of muscle tissue that forms the color portion of the eye. Its function is to control the size of the pupil opening. And next we have the lens in purple. And the lens is a transparent region behind the pupil that changes shape to help focus images on the retina. And it takes part in a process called accommodation, which is where the eye's lens changes the shape to focus near or far objects on the retina. And then here we have the retina. And the retina is a light-sensitive inner corner of the eye containing receptor rods and cones and layers of neurons that begin processing of visual info. And in that orange, we have the fovea, which is the central focal point in the retina around which the eye's cones cluster. And then moving up in here, kind of part of the retina, we have the different types of cells. So first we have rods, which are retinal receptors that detect black, white, and gray, necessary for twilight and peripheral vision when cones don't respond. And then in the orange, we have the cones, which are receptor cells mostly near the center of the retina that function in daylight and well-lit areas that detect fine details and give rise to color sensation. And then in the purple, we have the bipolar cells, which are the second layer of neurons in the retina that transmit impulses from rods and cones to ganglion cells. And rods share them, but cones do not. And then in green, we have the ganglion cells, which are the third layer of retinal neurons whose axons leave the eyeball and form the optic nerve. Here in yellow, we have the optic nerve, which contains bundled axons of ganglion cells that hook the retina to the brain. And here we have the brain, and we have the thalamus, which is all sensory info besides smell, first goes to the thalamus, where it is routed to the appropriate area of the cortex for processing. And then on the optic nerve, we have the optic chiasm, which is the point in the brain where the optic nerve fibers from each eye cross over each other. Within the brain, here in the yellow, we have the visual cortex, which is located in the occipital lobe, the part of the cerebral cortex involved in vision. And then we have the occipital lobe in pink, which is the visual processing center. And in orange, it's kind of all over the brain. We have the feature detectors, which are nerve cells in the brain that respond to specific features of the stimuli, such as shape, angle, or movement. And then back to the eye, we have a blind spot, which is the point at which the optic nerve leaves the eye, creating a blind spot because no receptor cells are located there. The brain usually fills this gap automatically. And then there's the trichromatic theory, which says that the retina contains 3 different color receptors, one most sensitive to red, one to green, and one to blue, which stimulated in combination can create the perception of any color. And then we have the opponent process theory, which interprets how color vision occurs at a neural level and explains how cones connect to nerve cells that determine how we perceive color in the brain. It's basically kind of saying the opposite of the trichromatic theory, and it does not say that those 3 colors make up our entire visual field.